Welcome to Colonize the Ocean podcast, where we discuss oceanic colonization, exploration, and education with your hosts Adam Jewell and Brendon Traxler.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Colonize the Ocean podcast. My name is Adam Jewell. We were out last week, and we were out with my friend Brendon Traxler. Brendon, how are you doing today?
Why were we out, Adam?
Because I was sick, and I'm
Yeah.
still sick, actually. And no, it's not COVID-19, just so everybody knows. I've been fighting an upper respiratory infection. So, yeah, I apologize. I was the reason we did not record last week. And I mean, Brendon was all about it. He's like, you just need to get over it. You need to quit, using excuses. We just need to record, and I just couldn't pull through. So, but I mean, other than that, Brendon, how are you doing so far?
I am doing excellent.
Um, yeah, this is a bad time in human history to like have any sort of cough or illness because everybody treats you very poorly. So having a cough, people do not want to be around you, and that includes your own family. So that's been my life for the past I think I'm on like day 8 right now. So um, I'm not having any coughing fits. So I think we can get through this. Yeah, this is still weird because we are still in this period where 90% of what you can find on the internet as far as like news is all related to like COVID-19 for the most part. That's like really all you can read news about. And one of my jobs for the social media is to find like oceanic type news, stuff to keep people up to date on all things aquatic. But man, like the articles are a little slim because everyone wants to talk about COVID-19. But I think we came through this week. We got some stuff we want to talk about. And Brendon, if you don't mind, I'm going to go through mine first.
Go for it.
Okay, so speaking on the COVID-19 stuff, most people, I don't know if I should say most, but there's a large group of people that have to work from home. And not only that, like more than likely, if you have kids, they're home. You're probably not sending your kids to school right now. So you have to play the role of being a homeschool teacher. So one of the things that I found, which is really cool, especially stuff that I like to do with my kids, I have a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old. The 6-year-old's in first grade, but she's been home, obviously, with all this stuff going on. So, trying to find cool stuff to do that's both educational and can support, these businesses. And one of the things that I have found is that there is a list of like zoos and aquariums that are doing like virtual tours, live feeds and stuff like that. So I wanted to kind of give everybody a quick list. And actually, Brendon, you've been to one of these, so you can speak on that when I get to that.
Okay.
But first of all, for zoos, the Cincinnati Zoo is one you can go to. It sounds like around 3 p.m. they have daily home safari Facebook live feeds. So around 3 p.m. you guys can go and check out the Cincinnati Zoo Facebook page, and they'll have like live feeds of what's going on at their zoo, which is really cool. Atlanta Zoo, the Georgia Zoo, also known as the Atlanta Zoo, has a panda cam. So if you want to watch some pandas, you can go watch some pandas, which is pretty cool. The Georgia Aquarium, which I believe, Brendon, you told me is the second largest aquarium in the world. Is that right?
That would be correct.
They have live cams as well for a lot of their aquatic animals, obviously, like African penguins and beluga whales. So you can go check that out. Another one is Houston Zoo. They have like just a ton of different live cams going on right now for a lot of their different animals, and up to including the elephants. So if you like to watch some elephants go mess around, you can go to the Houston Zoo. Now, here's one that you're more familiar with, the Shed Aquarium. Brendon, why don't you just tell us about what the Shed Aquarium is?
Well, actually, I correct you. I've been to the Cincinnati Zoo as well, so really I've been to two.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Cincinnati Zoo is cool, but it's been a minute since I've been there. But no, I mean the shed, it was up until it's probably been a good 20 years ago, was the largest aquarium in the world, and then quickly got overtaken by George and some other ones. But anyway, no, it's cool. It's right off the Lake Michigan there in Chicago. So there's a bunch of stuff to do around there as well. If the aquarium's not your thing, you can make a whole day of it. I remember the coolest things for me, which isn't all that rare anymore, but there was a big tank when you first walked in, and there's like a scuba diver in like feeding the fish or cleaning the tank or whatever. And it's like, that's so cool seeing that when I was younger. But yeah, there's dolphin shows and all different types of stuff to see there. Since I've been there, which dates how long ago I've been there, is the shed is where is they've put in a whole entire shark area where the sharks are like swimming over you and all that cool stuff too. So if you're into aquariums or getting out and doing stuff like that, once the bans and stuff are lifted, and that's definitely should be on your bucket list of one of the ones to do. I know George Aquarium is on my bucket list to do. We were planning on doing it last year and didn't make it there, so maybe this year, maybe next year. But yeah, there's some cool stuff.
Yeah, like I said, we're all kind of in a time of uncertainty of when we can plan these trips out. But yeah, check out the Shed Aquarium. That's SHEDD. Check out their Facebook. Check out their website. They have different things you can do, different videos you can watch of their zoo. Also, San Diego Zoo got a lot of live cams going on. San Diego Zoo is the largest zoo in the United States. And if you're a fan of Finding Dory, Monterey Bay Aquarium, they have a bunch of online videos as well that you can go check out there. And the National Aquarium, where they're having like a floor-by-floor tour. So one that's not on this list and one that's like just a personal favorite of mine, if you check out the Henry Dorley Zoo or the Omaha Zoo, they have different stuff going on with their website and their social media, so go check them out. And the reason I wanted to cover these is not only is it something to do that's educational, especially with aquariums, that's kind of what we relate to the most, with trying to build the underwater habitats, and one of the things that I love about it the most is the ability to be able to see the aquatic life, up close and personal. So, it's cool to be able to see all the things they're doing. Plus, with all these places closed, it's a good way to support them too. I mean, these guys, they're just as heavily affected as a lot of the other businesses in the United States or across the world, really, that, they can't be open. So, do what you can to support your local zoos and aquariums and check these guys out and, learn something, show it to your kids. I promise you they won't be disappointed. Brendon, what do you got this week, buddy?
Well, just one little thing to add to yours right there too is you're talking about specific zoos, but I think most zoos anymore have got some kind of cam of some sort. So if you've got a zoo in your local area, check out the website. I'm sure they got something there going on for the kids or even for you as well. And but yeah, on that note, I guess, well, not on that note, but a couple weeks ago, I think I talked about a thing about how Scotland was developing, really focused on harnessing the waves as far as energy. And there's another article here that came out, I think it's last week, talking about how this has been an ongoing theme we've been hearing about for decades as far as harnessing the waves, and why hasn't it happened yet to an extent where you see all the wind farms and the solar farms and stuff going on, but you're not really seeing that with the ocean. And why is that? And I think politics is a big come into play with it. But there is a organization, Ocean Energy Systems, it's a 24-member group of businesses, organizations, like that encompass a bunch of different nations, and they're really dead set on making wave energy a renewable energy, to the extent where, throwing out some of the numbers they threw out there, was that if we just used 2% of the coastline available, global coastline, that would be enough to generate like 16% of the world's energy. So that's a fraction. And the thing with hydroelectric energy and wave energy is it doesn't require as much real estate. So for that same amount of real estate you need to create that much energy from wave from hydro, you need like a factor of, I think it's like 2 to 10 with solar and air and wind. So yeah, it's one of those things. So it's compact. It's always flowing too. That's the thing too. Is wind doesn't always blow. The sun isn't always out, but the water is always running. Especially the waves are on. As long as that moon is there, we're going to constantly have waves. So that's going to be there. So that's what the premise of this article was talking about was, hey, yeah, it hasn't done what we've hoped it's going to be doing, like so many other technologies out there with lofty goals that just hasn't come around. And so, but this group of this 24 member group is dead set on making this happen. And so the article really goes into, why this is the case, what they're talking about doing. It gives a little some more facts. But, we always talk about renewable energy, and clean energy is the big factor here, especially when we start looking at colonizing the ocean, or, if you're part of the seasteading support groups and stuff like those, you're out on the ocean, anything ocean related and therefore space related too. We're always looking at clean renewable energies and the technologies around that. So that's why this one really stood out to me, because it's one more area that we're focusing not only on the ocean, but we're focusing on energy to drive the future ocean technologies, if that makes sense, if I'm wording that in a way that you're getting there.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the big things with it too is, it piques our interest because we're in a business of trying to advance a oceanic habitation technology, whatever you want to refer to it. But this is a kind of technology, like you were saying earlier, could just revolutionize the world in general, where it's not just, people like us and the seasteaders that are going to benefit from it, but just anybody. Like you said, there's been a lot of great advances in wind energy and solar energy, but like you said, there's limits to that just based off of nature, really. Whereas with the hydropower, you have a constant, I guess, motion to generate the energy. So not only is it going to help us, but being able to just help the world in general, because there's so many technologies right now that they're not necessarily going to be the cleanest, and they're not going to last forever either. So I think it's cool to watch the advancements in turbine and solar, but being able to see something like this, I think this deserves probably some of the most focus, because as we advance it, it's going to be less invasive, it's going to be more powerful, it's going to be even cleaner, it's going to be able just to do everything the world needs it to do with like I said, without having to, like what you said, without having to hog so much real estate.
Yeah, I think once again, there's several factors that come into the what survives and what strives and what doesn't. Politics, price, how much is going to cost, real estate, and there's always the cool, sexy factor that we've talked about with why underwater habitats don't get the same attention, and on ocean colonization doesn't get the same appeal as space, because there isn't that cool, sexy, this is the future type of thing that maybe solar does, and especially wind, with it being these giant windmills right there in your face that, from as much hate as they can get sometimes, they are still pretty cool looking as well. So there's a lot that's going against it, but if you just look at the hard numbers on it, it seems to make a lot more sense in many ways.
Yeah, and one of the things I was kind of thinking about when you're talking about that is with the hydro technology, and this is just me talking without a lot of background in it, obviously, but I kind of foresee it as like the hydro technology that could power communities a lot easier and maybe a lot more efficiently than the other options. Like when it comes to, like, say you have like a piece of property, or you're just trying to power your home, yeah, like wind energy and solar technology is awesome because you don't need to power as much, but if you were to say try to power a city off of solar technology, you need a lot of real estate to be able to do that. Whereas kind of what it's sounding like with the hydropower, you don't need to consume nearly as much real estate, but you can generate a lot more energy. You get more bang for your buck, I guess, when it comes to a ratio of real estate and, I guess, energy output.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair assessment. I mean, there's a lot that can be in for solar because you can stack it on rooftops and you can put it here and there and everywhere. So solar still has an advantage over wind from that perspective. But yeah,
I can't put up a turbine in my yard, but I could put a solar panel on my roof.
Right, and same thing. You can't really harness the water coming into your house or something along those lines. But if you are closer to a body of water, yeah, it definitely makes sense. You know, if you're in rural America, hydro is probably not going to be your go-to. But yeah, so I think once again, it depends on where you're at, and that's why they're talking about coastal areas generating all this, because most of the population in the world lives within a certain radius of the ocean or the coast of a large body of water.
Right.
So that's why it makes a whole lot more sense. Obviously, it isn't like we talked, I think, in the last time we talked about this. It's not there isn't the one thing that's going to fix everything, but this could be a one that definitely tips that renewable energy in a more favorable position, especially in a cost-effective position too.
I guess I don't got anything to add to this one, Brendon. Is there anything else you want to add to this week's episode? I feel out of rhythm because we did miss a week.
Yeah, I'm sorry I bore you with my news articles.
No, whatever.
But go ahead.
I was gonna say I like our flow. I need to start sounding more intelligent because, like we talked about before the recording, that I've been picking some easier things to talk about that are a little bit, I guess, more general, where you're kind of putting your nose in the books and actually learning this stuff. So
you are my yin to my yang.
I guess that's a weird way of putting it, but I guess I'll go with it.
But yeah, I think it works.
With that, we want to take another chance to holler at you guys. If there's stuff you guys want us to cover in these shows, if there's stuff you want to see on our social media, stuff that you believe we need to be talking about, by all means, reach out to us either on the social medias, or you can get a hold of me at adam@atlanticseacolony.com and Brendon at brendan@atlanticseacolony.com. Also, you can just start checking us out and everywhere that we're available. You can check out our websites at colonizetheocean.com or atlanticseacolony.com. And you could basically go to any form of social media, search up Atlantic Sea Colony, and you're going to find us. We also have a Patreon, so go to patreon.com/Atlantic Sea Colony. And if you have, a little bit of a spare change lying around, you want to support us and help us, increase what we're trying to do within our business and with our, not only our podcast, but the actual advancement of Atlantic Sea Colony, you can do that. Also on Reddit, we're on YouTube, we're on LBRY. Which other ones am I forgetting? I think I covered them all, right?
I mean, I just go to our website for the most part. I mean, that's the best way to find them all, because it's an ever growing. It's growing so fast. I might even update them all at this point in time, so I need to get them all updated on the website. But yeah, we're everywhere: Twitter, Instagram, YouTube.
We want you guys to find us wherever.
We make it easy.
So, with having said that, thank you guys again for tuning in, and hopefully our health is going to stay on track, and that we'll see you again on another episode, plus maybe some bonus stuff coming up soon. So we have some discussion to that. So anyways, thank you guys once again for tuning in, and remember, let's colonize the ocean.